In order to kind of understand what personal pronouns are and how we use them, I would like to just give you a little bit of an explanation through this video. When we form verb conjugations, there's always a person speaking. Oftentimes, this person has a gender, and there are also a number of individuals, such as if there's only one person or if there are multiple people within this group. We use personal pronouns to indicate gender and the number of individuals in the group that we are talking about. So what do I mean when I say that? What I mean is, if we use I, for example, as opposed to we, then we know that I is a group of one person, whereas we is a group of multiple people. We also know that if I use the word I am in the group that I'm talking about, and if I use the word we, I am also in the group that I'm talking about. If I use you, for example, I know that I am talking about one person and that I am not a member of that group, but you are. If I use he, I know that I am talking about a male, I'm also talking about one person, and I am not a member of that group, but he is. So in order to kind of show that, we can kind of see it a little bit better if we draw out a chart. So we can have singular, indicating that there is only one person in the group. We can also have plural personal pronouns, indicating that there are multiple members of the group, whether that be 2 or 25. There's also such thing as first person pronouns. If it is a first person, it means I am in the group that I am talking about. So if I am in the group in any way, shape, or form, whether it be me and a bunch of people, or me all by myself, I am always going to be in the first person. In English, we have 2 examples of this. We have a singular, I, and we have a plural, we. So singular meaning I'm alone, plural meaning I'm with a group of people. We also have the second person. And in the second person, you are a part of that group. In English, we only really have one way of saying that, which is you. We use you for both singular and plural, but that can get a little confusing. So I will just write over here, you all, to indicate that there's a group of people. In the third person, what that means is I am very far removed from the group because it is so far away from me that it's not even you that I'm talking to, it's he, right? Someone kind of farther away from me. So we have he, she, and also it are examples of third person personal pronouns, and then they. They indicating that there are a group of third person individuals, he, she, and it indicating that there are singular and gender specific individuals. He and she are the only times that we use gender in English, but there are more times of gender use in Spanish. So how would we use this in Spanish? That's the kind of question that we want to ask ourselves. How would we use this kind of idea in Spanish? Well, in Spanish, the personal pronouns fall into these exact same categories. They just have different words to represent them. So if I am in the first person and I am singular, then I am yo. If I am plural, I am nosotros or nosotras. I'll explain that in a minute. If I am you singular, then I am tú. You may remember from our video about formal or informal that tú is used in cases of informality. So we'll put a little asterisk next to it to indicate that it is used with the informal. Meaning, tú is a familiar way of saying you. If we have a second person plural indicating you, but a group of you, then in Spanish we have a completely separate word, which is vosotros or vosotras. I'll explain why there are two of them in a minute. But this is also an informal situation. So we have an informal singular use of two and an informal plural use of the word you in Spanish. We have tú and we have vosotros, but they are both informal. Then in Spanish we also have the equivalent of he, she, but we don't have it. In Spanish, everything, all objects, have gender. So the door has a gender, the chair has a gender, and so you would call it either he or she based on the gender. So you have él, ella, and over here we have ellos or ellas. We also are going to have usted and ustedes. These are uses of the formal you, and we will go over this more in class. For now, just be aware that it's there. One thing, though, it is important to note about the personal pronouns in Spanish is that there are more cases of feminine and masculine than there are in English. You will notice, right, he and she are masculine and feminine, but also masculine and feminine is we, os, meaning male, us, indicating female, os, male, us, female, os, and us, right? So there are actually 3 more cases of gender use in Spanish than in English. This gender use, though, is actually incredibly specific because in talking about groups of people, the group, if it is female, must be entirely female. That is to say, if you are in a room and there are 30 women and they're all women, then you can use these ones, nosotras, vosotras, or ellas. However, if you are in that room of 30 women and suddenly Bob walks into the room and he sits down, you are no longer in a group of all women. You are now in a mixed gender situation. For situations of mixed gender or all males, you would use the masculine as a default. So anytime you have mixed gender or masculine, you're going to default to the male use. So nosotros, vosotros, or ellos. Why is this relevant? That's the question that we want to ask ourselves. In English, we need personal pronouns to tell us who it is that is speaking in order to conjugate the verb, right? If we have to eat, but we don't have any personal pronoun, then we don't know who it is that is doing the eating. In Spanish, it's the same, right? And also, it's the same because this chart will become the chart upon which we will do all of our verb conjugations. This chart will be the basis of almost every single grammatical thing that we will do in the Spanish language. It is all based on this precise system. And so it's very important at this stage to kind of grasp the idea that there is going to be singular, plural, first person, second person, and third person in almost everything that we do. And this is all based off of which personal pronoun is in use. That is to say, who is the speaker at the moment that we are doing that we are talking. And if you need anything else, feel free to email me or contact me in any way, and I will see you in class.